Hello, friends. Welcome to Literary Concepts. Today's topic is the Romantic Age. The Romantic Age started in 1798 and ended in 1837. So, now let us try to understand about the Romantic Age. The Romantic Age in English literature started, the period started from 1798 to 1837. So we find there is a radical change, the radical departure from the rationalism and restraints of Augustan and neoclassical period. During the Romantic Age, we find there is a shift from rationalism. Okay, there is a change from rationalism and the controls of the Augustan and neoclassical periods in Romantic Age. So this age emphasized, focused more on emotion rather than rationalism, logical thinking, okay, logical thoughts. So we find more focus on emotion, individualism, imagination, and a deep connection with nature. So these are the aspects which we find in romantic writers' works. So it was a response to the this romantic age is a response to the rapid industrialization, the fast industrialization, political revolutions, and scientific advancements during that time. So, which many romantic writers saw that so the industrialization, political revolutions, and scientific advancements as a threat, as a danger to human freedom and creativity. So we find the different aspects which focus more on emotions, imaginations, okay, individualism, and deep connection with nature during Romantic Age. So the publication of lyrical ballads, so this work in 1798 by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge is often considered as the official beginning of the Romantic movement. So, when the lyrical ballads work, published in 1798 by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, so with this publication, the Romantic movement started. The Romantic age officially started in 1798. So, this lyrical ballad emphasized the beauty of ordinary life. Lyrical ballad focused more on, on the beauty of the ordinary life, nature, and personal experiences. The work Lyrical Ballad gave prominence to beauty of ordinary common life and nature and personal experiences, so which is which is setting the tone for the romantic literature. So that is the mood for the romantic literature, that is the style of the romantic literature. Now let us try to understand the characteristics of the Romantic age, the features of the Romantic age. The first characteristic is emphasis on emotion and imagination. We find more focus is given to emotion and imagination in the literature of the Romantic period. The Romantics valued feelings, intuitions. Intuitions means inner feelings and creativity over reason and logic. So Romantics gave more prominence to, more importance to human feelings and human intuitions, the inner thoughts, the inner feelings and creativity, rather than the reason and logical thinking. The next characteristic is love for nature. So we find nature was a seen as a source of beauty. So nature was a seen the origin of beauty, inspiration, and spiritual renovation. Okay, we find more the love for nature in the works of Romantic age. The next characteristic is individualism and subjectivity. Individualism means so that giving prominence to individuals, okay, persons independence, and subjectivity, so that is influenced by personal feelings and opinions. So personal experiences and individual perspectives became central themes. So during the romantic age the works more focused on the personal experiences and persons' perspectives, individuals' thoughts have become central themes of the works of Romantic age. The next characteristic is fascination with the supernatural and Gothic. So they were very much interested in with the supernatural elements, so that is mystic, unnatural, okay, mysterious elements, magical elements, and Gothic, so that is related to ghosts, gloomy and horrifying elements. So ghosts, legends, that is extremely famous people, and mysterious aspects which are mystic, understand, mysterious aspects of existence were explored more in the literature of the Romantic age. The supernatural elements were explored more in the romantic in the literature of the Romantic age. The next characteristic is idealization of the past. The writers of the Romantic age looked back to the Middle Ages, medieval period, and folklore, understand. So they looked back to the, they got inspiration, they inspired from the medieval ages and middle ages writers, and so they also got inspiration from folklore, that is folk tales, traditional customs, traditional stories. So that's why the idealization of the past, so that is the representation of something as an ideal, okay. The next characteristic is criticism of industrialization. So many romantic writers, they oppose the destruction of nature, the the spoiling of the nature, understand. So caused by the industrial revolution, because of the industrial revolution, so there was a spoiling of nature, the destruction of nature, the damage to nature. Therefore many romantic writers, they opposed and criticized the industrialization process, okay, the industrial revolution. The next characteristic is revolutionary and democratic spirit. So inspired by the events like the French Revolution, romantic writers often supported liberty and social change. So many romantic writers, they inspired by the events, the movements such as the French Revolution. So they supported liberty and social change aspects through their works. So these are the important characteristics of the Romantic age. Now let us try to understand the major writers and their works. The first writer is William Wordsworth, whose time period started in 1770 and ended in 1850. His important works are: number one, the first one is Lyrical Ballads, which was published in 1798. So it was co-written with Coleridge. So the Lyrical Ballads was written with along with Coleridge. So it introduced the Romantic poetry to England. So the Lyrical Ballad introduced the Romantic poetry, the Romantic theme to English people, England. The next work is the Prelude, so which was published in 1850. So it is an autobiographical poem autobiographical poem about the poet's spiritual and artistic growth. The prelude explores the writer's spiritual and artistic development in the prelude. And the next important work is Lines Composed a Few Miles Above Tinton Bay, so which was published in 1798. It is a it is a meditation on memory, nature, and the passage of time. So these are the important works of William Wordsworth. Now, the second writer is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, whose lifetime started in 1772 and ended in 1834. His important works are The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which was published in 1798. It is a supernatural poem about guilt, redemption, and nature's power. Rime of the Ancient Mariner is a supernatural poem about the guilt and the redemption. So that is redemption means saving from sins and nature's power. The next work is Kubla Khan, which was published in 1816. So it was a dreamlike poem inspired by opium-induced visions. So Kubla Khan was a dreamlike poem. So which was inspired by the opium. Opium means it is a narcotic drug. So opium-induced visions, the thoughts. Understand? The next work of Samuel Taylor Coleridge is Biography Literaria, which was published in 1817. So, Biography Literaria is a critical work outlining Coleridge's poetic theories, poetic ideas, poetic concepts. The next writer is Lord Byron, so whose time period started in 1788 and ended in 1824. So his important works are number one, Child Harold's Pilgrimage. Child Harold's Pilgrimage, which was written between 1812 to 1818. So it was a long narrative poem about a world weary hero. Tired. Weary means tired hero. It is a long narrative poem. The next work is Don John, so which was written between 1819 to 1824. So it is a satirical epic poem. Don John is a satirical epic poem. The next work is She Walks in Beauty, so which was published in 1814. So it is a lyrical poem celebrating idealized female beauty. It is a lyrical poem which celebrates idealizing the female beauty. The next writer is Percy Bysshe Shelley, P.B. Shelley, popularly known as P.B. Shelley, so whose lifespan started in 1792 and ended in 1822. His important works are Ode to the West Wind, which was published in 1819. So it was a poem symbolizing political and personal transformation. So Ode to the West Wind is a poem which symbolizing which projecting the political and personal transformations. The next work is To a Skylark, so which was published in 1820. It was a celebration of birds' song as pure artistic inspiration. So, To a Skylark is a celebration of birds' song, so which is a pure artistic inspiration. The next work is Prometheus Unbound, which was published in 1820. So it is a philosophical drama about human liberation. Prometheus Unbound is a philosophical drama which focuses about human liberation, human liberty. The next writer is John Keats, so whose time period started from 1795 to ended in 1821. John Keats' important works are Ode to a Nightingale, which was published in 1819. It is a meditation on mortality and beauty. So it is a meditation on mortality, that is death and beauty, temporariness and beauty. Ode to a Nightingale. The next work is Ode on a Grecian Urn. Ode on a Grecian Urn, which was published in 1819. So it is a reflection on art's timeless nature, art's timeless appeal. Understand. The next work is To Autumn. Okay, To Autumn, which was published in 1819. It is a rich sensory poem celebrating the season of change. So it is a sensory, sensual poem which celebrates the season of the change of seasons. The next writer is Mary Shelley, whose time period started in 1797 and ended in 1851. Mary Shelley's important work is Frankenstein, which was published in 1818. So, the Frankenstein is a pioneering, so one of the important Gothic and science fiction novel. So, Frankenstein is a important Gothic and science fiction novel about human ambition and responsibility, which focuses about the human ambition and responsibility. The next writer is Walter Scott, whose time period started in 1771 and ended in 1832. His important work is Ivanhoe, which was published in 1819. So Ivanhoe is a historical novel set in medieval England. Set in the Middle England. It is a historical novel. So these are the important writers and their works. I hope you understand the Romantic Age. Thank you so much.